How's it going? Dave from Comic Book Investments. So, yeah, this one kind of didn't really work out. Um, a lot of things can go wrong when dealing with different investments. And sometimes it's this bad speculation, sometimes it's a bad deal to begin with. But this one has to do with timing. And timing is very key, especially in this kind of comic book market. And I'll just show you what I'm talking about. I got like 9 of these right here. All West Coast Avengers 45. First White Vision. Got all different grades. 9.4s, 9.6s, no 9.8s, 8.0s, just all over the place. And yeah, I talked about this in my unboxing video a little bit, but I figured I'd just do a dedicated video on it and to give you a visualization of what kind of happened. But yeah, so timing is very key. I was buying this book and, I kind of bought as the hype was going up and I had a bunch of them. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll send them. And then it just took so long to get back from CGC. So what happens is I normally get these in and then we process them and everything like that. And there's like a month turnaround time before we actually send them. So we sent them back in April. They didn't get to CGC until May to be processed, and then that took 6 months, and now we're in November. So, yeah. So let's take a look at what happened to it. I'll subtract me down here, and let's go like this. Okay. So here we go. We got West Coast Avengers, first White Vision. We look at it right here. As you can see up at the graph at the top, it just went spike, and then boom, just dropped like a rock. Now, why did it drop? Obviously, it's because the show ended. I like Vision, personally. Paul Bettany, I believe, is the actor's name. Anyways, let's look at here. A 9.8. Back in March, that was its peak. Sold for $19.50. It currently sells for, on average, over the last couple weeks, $5.21. That's down 72%. A 9.6. Its peak was in February, late February, $6.25. Now sells for, on average, $190. That's down 69%. A 9.4, its peak was in March, $3.50. Now down to $115. That's minus 67%. So all around 70% drop. Yeah, it sucks, right? So now I have all these books. And like I said in my video, a lot of these books I sent in, I thought were going to be like 9.8s and 9.6s. And they just got hammered, like down to like 8.0s. Like I wouldn't send an 8.0 of this book. And all of them got hammered. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, why don't you just resend them? But yeah, if this book was still popular and still had room, but now that it's dropped so much, it's not worth resending because I have to pay for case costs and then I have to wait another 6 months. And what if it drops another 30% by then? Then it just defeats all the purpose of sending it. And it's so little now that it doesn't make any sense. If we look here at the GPA for it, it's just been dropping, steadily declining now. Not a huge drop like it was before. And yeah, just continued dropping. It looks like right here it's kind of leveled off. This is for a 9.6. But then you look at like 9.4 still dropping. And then yeah, it's just barely above case costs. And if we go to eBay, you can look at, we go to eBay. And it's just, there's so many of them. This 107 pop up. All of them aren't going to be West Coast, but most of them are going to be West Coast. Like all sorts of grades, ranges, and just all over the place. There's tons. You want a 9.6? 195, right? The most recent sale was 198. Still, I think this is ours. Let's see. I usually tell by the pictures. Yep, ours. So there's a 9.6. Like, I have more. This is not like, oh, by the way, I only have these 9 that I showed you. No. I have a ton more on eBay, on our website that aren't moving, and they're priced pretty cheap. And they still aren't moving. And so I have a ton of these. Not just these 9. These are the 9s I just got in. The ones I got in, I priced, and then all of a sudden the floor dropped out, and I constantly keep on trying to reprice it. And every time I redo, it's just further and further behind. And yeah, and now they're going to be left with barely anything. So So yeah, it's just back to this is you can see kind of what happened. It kind of sucks. Oh well, it's just part of the game. What I would learn from this mistake is number one, send it fast track, right? If you have something that's very time sensitive, probably need to send it fast track. We have now implemented the fast track because of this book and a couple other books around the same time. And so we have the fast track that we do. We also, another thing is when I spec on a book, normally I'm holding it and I'm like waiting because I'm like, well, I don't want to send it to CGC quite yet. Maybe I should send it a little sooner instead of waiting so long to send it. And then because these sometimes it's a nice, slow, gradual up. Other times it's this boom, boom, up, down so fast that, and at the time when I was sending it, CGC wasn't as backed up as it was now. And it just changed. So remember, key takeaway, timing. Remember the timing. Have a good day.